Look like we're in a barn.
We're live here from Strafford High School, the Houston Tigers, in tonight's district opener against Strafford. A hard-fought game, tied at the half, tied entering the fourth quarter, and they ultimately lose 35 to 27. Jeff McNeil joined by Coach Eric Sloan. Coach, what are your thoughts on that ball game? I thought your kids fought all night long.
Yeah, very pleased with that effort. And, we continued to fight. And, got down 14 nothing there at the start. And, you know, years passed, they put their head down and folded, and we dug out of a hole and kind of got back in the thing, and it was just back and forth. And ultimately, there at the end, we ran out of time.
Well, let's talk positives for your team. First of all, Peyton Dixon's been your workhorse this season. Your turnaround started when you put him at running back. He goes for 240 yards tonight. Just another incredible performance from a guy that's not 100%.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Got hurt again last week. We didn't even know if we was going to have him tonight, and got him released from the doctor. I guess Wednesday afternoon, and then he comes and puts a performance like that together again, and it makes me really second guess starting him the year at quarterback, and man, he had quite the second half of the season.
Tonight you said one of the keys were for you guys to be physical, to bring that SCA style of play. I thought we saw the physical play from your guys up front, tackling. I thought we really brought it tonight, which is what you thought you had to do to be in this ball game.
Yeah, on film, their athletes concerned us a little bit. They do a lot of things that we don't do very well. They do those things well, and the quarterback's very athletic and runs very well. And when he gets to scrambling back there, I mean, I don't know what he would have had on the ground, but scrambling ability is very good. And we knew coming in we was going to have to be very physical to stay in the thing. And fortunately, we were able to do that. And, I think our schedule prepares us very well for the end of the season. If we're not completely beat to pieces, we're prepared for this time of year. So very pleased with the performance and the attitude and effort and then the physicality of it. And that's something that the SCA kind of prides itself in. And just we're not really a finesse team in the conference where everybody wants to line up and hit you in the mouth. And I felt like we did that tonight.
We've been a run-heavy team, and I know you want to run the ball, but tonight we also had a nice passing game to complement the ground game. Your sophomore, Dakota Burchett, 10 of 18 passing for 111 yards, his best game of the season, and obviously played very well, and that was another reason you were in the game.
Yeah, he's progressed very well this back half of the season, and we're trying not to overload him with things and make him think too much. And so it's been kind of vanilla the past game. Just trying to keep him doing things within himself and not make him get out of his comfort zone. So he did what he's been coached up to do and did a really good job with that tonight. Early in the year he was trying to force some things, and the last 2 or 3 games he's really done a nice job of not forcing it, and we're starting to see him use his legs a little bit. And I think the next couple years those legs could be seen, and everybody gets to honoring that side of his game, because just like last week we saw when he gets in the open field with those Liberty kids, he just ran away from them. So look forward to 2 more years of that.
Well, your team was playing catch-up all night long, but I liked the way they just continued to battle. It was 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. We tied at 7-all. They scored again. Then we scored right at the end of the first half. Third quarter they go up again. We score again. Did you like the way your guys continued to fight tonight? And I guess that's kind of a theme we've seen through the end of this season, is the fight from your guys.
Yeah. We just don't say die. Never say quit. None of that. So it was just fun. They just, I don't know. They were just excited and come on, let's go score. And they're at the end. The wind just blew all night. So I was probably too self-conscious of that, and let me talk myself out of doing some stuff. But I don't know. At the end of the night, we just ran out of some time.
Let's talk about a couple key moments in the ball game, Coach. First of all, it was 21-21. They had a third down play. There was a holding call. We stopped them. It was going to be a 4th and 8, I believe, 4th and 7, somewhere in that. went back and forth on whether or not to take the holding or penalty or not. Ultimately decided not to take the penalty. Then they'd get us to jump off sides and convert the fourth down and go and score. Talk about your decision about that play, and if you had to do it over again, would you take the holding call?
And I'd back them up, make them have them a long field. That was my gut, and I let some coaches. we were talking about it, and I let them talk me out of it, and wish I'd overruled that. And, the wind was blowing so hard at that point when I thought that pin him and just make the quarterback beat us through the air,
right.
Sell out on the run, and then ultimately we decline it and we jump off sides and fourth and real short, and they get the first down, and then did you say they went and scored?
Yep, they went and scored and went ahead. Yeah.
Dadgummit. That's just, I don't know, it's like a kid getting sucker punched in the hall, man. That one hurts.
Let's talk about your PAT game tonight. Past couple of weeks. We were 0 for 7 on 2-point conversions. You decided not to kick. Tonight you came out and kicked the ball. We're 3 for 3. Why the change? What made you have confidence to kick PATs tonight? And obviously it was the right call because your junior C.J. Lee was perfect.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I mean, he's got a big-time leg. But for whatever reason, I mean, it's not been going through the uprights. And had a really nice day yesterday, and he didn't miss yesterday. Everybody was confident in it, so we decided to come out and do that. And then we score, and I mean, the wind's just blasting us in the face. And when he kicks it, it goes so high. I was afraid of what the wind was going to do to it, and we were moving the ball so well. The kids wanted to go for 2, and we did that. And unfortunately, it didn't work out there. But yeah, I mean, he did a great job for us tonight.
Well, the key moment of this ball game, Coach, of course, the moment you just talked about, Peyton Dixon's 72-yard touchdown run, 2-point conversion run fails, but it's 28-27, 10:57 to go in the ball game. We then have an ensuing kickoff, and we unfortunately see it returned 86 yards for a touchdown. Talk about that play. Obviously, they've got a lot of weapons over there, and we saw a guy with some speed that found a crack and ultimately was the game winner, game clincher.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, kickoff is 11 guys. It's got to stay in their lanes and do their job and not get out of their lanes. And I'm sure when we watch film, I'm going to guess somebody didn't stay in their lane. And usually when that happens, the void is exposed. And, I mean, obviously they've got really good speed. And once he hit the crease, he was gone. And it's just one of those, man, if you could just do that over. But, that's the way it goes. And ultimately, that's the ball game. I mean, we don't score again. They don't score again, and then you just sit there and start second guessing some things that have previously happened. And I guess now you've got several months to sit there and think about it some more.
Well, let's talk about this 2017 season, Coach. We were talking right before you got up and joined us for this interview. The turnaround of this team, and I think now that we sit back and we look at how this season progressed, the turnaround of this team has been pretty miraculous. I think that's a strong enough word to see where we were at and how badly we were struggling and how poorly at times we played. To see the turnaround in this team the last 4 weeks of the season, starting with Willow Springs, talk about the change. Talk about what you guys did as a staff. I mean, I think all the way around from staff to players, there was just some life that was breathed into this ball club, and we are just a completely different team down the stretch of this season as we were, say, week 6 of the season.
Yeah. And it started with the Ash Grove game. I felt like we were in good shape coming in, and we had some turnovers and some penalties, and it just snowballed from there. And then we played St. James, and they're the 1 seed in their district and had the best record that they've had in I forgot how many years. And then we start conference play, and each week we're searching for answers. And I think we played 4 centers and through 5 games. And I mean, we were just interchanging parts and trying to find the right kid to play the right position to make us go. And defensively, we ended up, and I don't know, I guess we got some guys banged up, so we had to scrap everything we were doing defensively and simplify and try to find a new scheme to fit the healthy kids that we had at the time. And ultimately, I think we found something there. Offensively, we just kept Xing and Oing over the weekends and playing the what if game. What if we put this kid here and did this with this one? And just a lot of interchanging of parts and kids. And I don't know about, I guess, the Ava game. Things started to fall into place a little bit. Willow, we played very well. And then, the back half of the schedule here, we've just, I don't know what exactly happened, but, we found a little confidence, and some of the things we did started to work, and kids are more bought in than they were, and, all of a sudden, good things start happening, and that's a whole lot of fun, and I'm sure a lot of people were thinking we were all crazy talking about this summer, what we look like at camp and that sort of thing. But, I think the back half of the schedule, we saw what we were capable of. And, as a coach, that makes you feel a whole lot better to know that, you are able to do the things that you're supposed to do and execute the way that we're supposed to. And so that, that makes it a little bit better.
Let's talk a little about your staff, Coach. The season is a grind. The weekends are spent watching film and making adjustments away from your families. It's a long 10-plus weeks, even going into the preseason. Let's talk a little about your staff and the way you guys just continued, and of course you lead that charge, just continuing to work and make adjustments and watch film. I felt like you guys never gave up when things even weren't going well, and obviously we saw the dividends of that toward the latter part of the season.
Yeah, there were times in coaches' meetings on the weekends where it almost sounded like little schoolgirls at a sleepover. We'd watch film, and the things we were doing were just so silly. You'd had to just laugh about it, because if you got mad, you'd give yourself a migraine. But I'm proud of those guys. They just continued to work, and they didn't complain or give up on changes we were trying to make, and they were open to try to implement some new things. And it's Coach Preheim and Coach Wright were both new to everybody at the high school, and so it took a little while to gel. And I think everybody worked well together, and just continue to come to work and keep a good attitude, and do the things necessary each week to make the adjustments that we thought we needed to make.
And ultimately it comes down to, no matter how many adjustments you guys make and what you call it, it's the players making plays. And we saw the guys build with confidence. Some guys start to step up in leadership roles, some fire and some just not some quit in the team, which is things that, quite frankly, we hadn't seen before. And so kudos to them as well, right?
Yeah, and, I'm proud of some of those kids, because, ultimately some of them got demoted.
Right.
Some of the touches they were getting, or some of the roles they were playing, they kind of took the back seat. It's easy when you're the guy, and all of a sudden you're not the guy. It'd be easy to turn your stuff in or pout or be a bad teammate, but that never happened. We didn't have any selfishness going on. Pouting. So that was huge. In the past we've struggled a little bit. Even earlier in the year we've struggled a little bit with getting our feelings hurt, and not wanting to be coached real hard at times. And so it was enjoyable to see them kind of buy in, accept their roles, and whatever I got to do for the team, I'm willing to do it. And that I think that was big in the second half of the season as we kind of turned some things around. Just not being selfish.
Right. Your thoughts on the future? Of course, you lose a senior class that made a lot of contributions, but you've got a lot of young guys that were thrust into pretty important roles this season that'll be coming back. Your thoughts on what you need the offseason to look like, and what you would like to see carry over into the beginning of next year, as you obviously have some nice momentum going forward.
Right. It would be great if the offseason could consist of pool parties and cupcakes and that sort of thing. But we're still going to have to grind, and it's going to be a long process and hard and tiring, and there's going to be days we don't want to come in, but ultimately that's what we're going to have to do to continue to try to get over the hump. I am excited about the young kids that we've got coming back. We lose 4 out of 5 that started tonight on the offensive line, and that's been our big struggle for most of the season. But in the summer our numbers weren't great. There was some camp in July where we couldn't do anything offensive line wise because we had 2 kids there. That's not acceptable.
Right.
We got to get bought in across the board. And if not, we're gonna continue to see struggles and success. And maybe that's part of the problem. The first half of the season offensively, we hadn't been together long enough to gel. And you could probably point fingers at other things, and that's stuff we're gonna have to do. And it's kids being accountable and continuing to do that. I hope to see most of these kids playing basketball, and in the spring, baseball, track, tennis, whatever it is, something to get active. I mean, it's going to keep grades up, and that ultimately is huge. That's important. We got to be good students as well as athletes, and there's not going to be a day off. We just got to keep grinding and just have good days academically and athletically. And when we keep having kids lead and kids have good attitudes, I think we're gonna start to see more of the good stuff and less of the bad. It was fun to see some of these younger kids get to play key roles on Friday nights and see them start to blossom with their role and run with it just a little bit. We had 3 or 4 freshmen that played quite a bit, and that's very odd in our conference to see young kids contribute and have a lot of success. And at the tail end of the year, we were having two for sure freshmen on the field at all times on defense, and sometimes a third. And those kids, they don't know any better. They're just doing a good job leading and being vocal and being the cheerleaders. So that's exciting. Our junior class has done some good things. Brecken 80's done some really nice things, stepping in and locking down that center position. And he's kind of being the vocal guy, and that's important with him coming back next year up front. So we'll try to build an offensive line around him, and it's the juniors' turn now. They're going to have to lead and be the examples in the off season and do the things necessary to take us just a little farther than we've been the last 3 years. So hopefully we're close, and we'll do the things necessary in the off season, and it'll be here before you know it.
All right. Well, it's been a long night. We got a long ride home, so we'll wrap this thing up. Coach, just want to say thank you. It was a fun season, and I appreciate you joining us every week. And I know it's a grind, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, especially the tail end of the
season. There you go. All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
You bet.
That's going to do it here from Strafford High School. The Tigers wrap up the season tonight with a 35-27 defeat to the Strafford Indians. We appreciate everyone who joined us. Want to say a special thanks to our announcers, Ryan Munson and Jim McNeil, for being with us the entire season and volunteering their time. Also want to say thanks to Amanda Munson and Hunter McKinney for running our camera this year. And thanks to all of our sponsors. Everyone joined us. And we'll see you during the basketball season as we bring you Houston Tiger and Lady Tiger basketball. Have a great evening.